Hey YouTube, I hope everybody had an awesome day. It's the middle of the night. I'm actually laying down. I just would like to speak about a video that I just saw, part of Chris Sails responding to Queen's pregnancy. I just really feel like, I guess YouTube is all about the views. I guess it's all about getting those numbers up, especially when you make it your living, and that's your livelihood and how you make a living. Then of course, you want those views to be as high as possible. But I would just really like to speak on originality at some point. At some point, it just has to be about more than the obvious. So it just has to be about more, more of the obvious, not so much of, this is what's popular right now, or, this is what always gets this video watched, or whatever, at some point, get those views up because of your own life, because your own chain of events, because of your own things that you have going on, not because of what's going on in someone else's life. Because basically, if that person stops doing things, or if it comes to a point where that person isn't so public about what's going on in their life, then what are you going to have to talk about? So that's where originality comes in at. That's where people should, just come up with their own ideas and their own storyline, basically, and I just feel like still right now, even though Queen has a whole nother relationship, even though she even has a whole other child on the way, she's obviously went on with her life. I just feel like still to this day, I'm sorry about that. My phone went off, but still to this day, even after their whole breakup and everything that went on with them, his channel is still about Chris and Queen. It still should be named Chris and Queen as far as I'm concerned, because his channel is still about Chris and Queen, mainly Queen. So it's just amazing to me how this is just a perfect example of, you don't realize what you had until it's gone. And then you also see who was the, who was the personality, as far as their career went, as far as their relationship. You just really see, and I just send best wishes to Queen, blessings upon blessings her way, because she is being blessed from every angle, and she definitely deserves it. As far as moving too fast, I don't feel like she's moving too fast. Like she said, they've had this relationship going on for a while now. They just didn't make it public, where, they went about it the right way. They did start off as friends. They did continue to be on the same page. They did make sure of themselves before they made it public. They just wanted, and who knows what's going to happen in the future, but right now, today, this is what we can control. We can control what's right now, today. And if we're happy right now, today, while we're planning, what we want to happen tomorrow, that's what matters, because time is not promised. Life is not promised. We never know, if we're going to have another day. We never know, and so for everyone to, not everyone, but for those who are speculating on what's going to happen in the future, and just speculation, period, or offering their opinions. When you make your life public, of course, people are going to have an opinion, and I guess to some extent they have a right to have one. You put your life on display, and so at that point, everyone has a right to their own opinion. But that's all it is an opinion, because at the end of the day, it's all about our personal choices and ultimately what we want to do for ourselves and our own lives. So I just feel like, positivity should conquer. Positivity rules. Negative thoughts will not give you a positive life, and vice versa. Positive life, positive thoughts, will not give you a negative life. If you have positive thoughts and you act on that positivity, that's, it's only gonna double from there and triple, and it's gonna keep going in that direction. Life happens. Some things happen out of our control, but ultimately, life is what you make it, and make it as positive as you can, and spread that positivity. We don't only want that in our own lives, but we want that in other people's lives. And when we are associating with each other on social media, people that we don't know, and just offering our opinion, try to make it on a lighter note. Even if you don't totally agree, you can always agree to disagree. You can offer criticism in a constructive manner. You can offer advice that's not so harsh, that is not degrading. So it's not about what's said, but how it's said, and it's just about the why behind it, or the intent behind it. So if your intentions are good, if you're truly just trying to help, or just trying to offer, an extra, just extra information, or whatever your intent is behind it, just try to make sure it's on a positive note. And if not, if it's just mean, nasty, you're not positive, you really are just trying to be mean, and you really don't want the best for that person, you don't even really have to share that with everyone else, because it kind of reflects on the type of person you are and the thought process that you have. And so it's not so much saying mean and nasty things, even though it may affect that person that you're speaking to or speaking about, but ultimately, it reflects back on you as a person. So, I just just the videos, as far as Chris, he responding to every single thing Queen does. Initially it was clickbait, and, just mentioning her just because. And now it's that she does have stuff going on, and she is putting more information out there as far as what's going on in her life. He responds to every single thing. And I mean, he should just go ahead and change that channel name back to Chris and Queen, and give her a cut, because the channel is still about them. It's not about him at all. Everything, every video, and he really has something in him where he can't be alone. He's one of those people that he's not truly happy, because he's never alone. There's always a house full of people. There's always conversation and videos about somebody else, involving someone else. It's never just him. Either he's not that interesting, or he's not happy by himself. He doesn't know how to be happy alone with just him as a person. And until he figures that out, which he's still really young, but until he figures that out in himself, he's not going to really be able to move forward and be truly happy with anyone. Not in another relationship, and not even with himself. Because to always have people around you, or always need people around you, he just needs that. He needs that extra. He needs that attention. he lives off of that. You know, he's just one of those people. He is one of those people who, and I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart right now. I'm kind of tired, but I'm just really frustrated too when I see that, because, you know, that it's really something in a person. If you can never be alone, if you always have to have friends around you, if you always have to have people around you, if you always have to, if you crave attention from other people, or you just always, you either need that validation from other people, or you tend to keep people around you that you're doing better than, if you have to be the one that's doing the best out of the bunch, you know, and that's what makes you feel better, makes you feel like you're doing good and you're doing better. You know, there's something wrong with that. That's a character flaw, and that's just a sign of not being happy within yourself. And he just needs to work on that. He really needs to work on that. And until he does, and until he figures that out, you know, he's not going to be able to totally move on. He hasn't moved on. He hasn't moved on from his relationship with Queen. He is definitely affected by her moving on. But of course, he's not going to be honest about that. But I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody's hustle. Do what you do. Because, you know, whatever works for you. But at the end of the day, at some point you have to work on yourself, because if you don't, you know, it only goes on and gets worse with time, and you definitely don't want it to get worse. I'm gonna go to sleep, you guys. I love you guys. I hope somebody watches my video. It's pitch black. I'm so lame. I'm gonna get used to this. I'm watching stuff like, you know, I ordered a camera set, and, you know, just getting the right background. And I just like doing the live videos, but I don't have any followers or anybody who watches them. So it's like, the point of the live videos is for me to be able to have a conversation with you guys, you know, real time. But I don't have anybody who's watching it, but it'll happen. No rush, no rush. I just like to be able to talk. I like to, just be able to talk, and it's all about being better. My channel is all about being better, lifting people up, being positive, and just helping, spreading information, because the more we know, the more better we can be. And that's what life is all about, is being better and love. And that's pretty much it. So you guys have an awesome night, and I will see you guys next time. Good night.